Today we're gonna be making one of my favorite Tex-Mex meals over this open flame. I've got some skirt steak we're gonna season and grill. We've got a grilled pico de gallo that's got some Vidalia onion, vine-ripe tomatoes, jalapenos, all cooked over the open fire. We're also gonna grill up some corn over the open fire right in the husk. Let's get started. Corn's gonna take the longest to cook, and also it stays really hot. So if it's done earlier than expected, it's not gonna get cold. The husk will get dark, it'll blacken, but that's okay because the corn is cooking. It's protected in that husk, plus a little bit of char from that fire is gonna taste great. Here we've got some tomatoes that I've cut in half, Vidalia onions that I've left a little bit of the root on so they stay intact, whole head of garlic that I cut in half, and some jalapenos cut in half. I'm gonna keep the garlic kind of to the outside because I don't want that to burn. The rest I don't mind if it chars, but garlic you don't want to fully burn. Just gonna keep checking on stuff now. See, we're starting to get a little color on that husk, but that's what we want. Honestly, I look for almost a fully blackened husk before I start to rotate. So they're getting some heat, but they're definitely not close yet. While the pico's getting fired up there and the corn's roasting, I'm gonna hit these skirt steaks with a little bit of our Tex-Mex seasoning here. Just have a light squirt of oil just to help adhere it. And this Tex-Mex seasoning is a blend of ancho, chili, cumin, garlic, onion, salt with just a touch of sugar to give it a little sweetness. This has got a great flavor that goes really well with skirt steak. It makes a great taco. Skirt steak seasoned. I'm gonna go back to these veggies here and just kind of check on everything. You know, the thing I enjoy about cooking over an open flame, it's more interactive than just turning on your grill or maybe even lighting some briquettes. I like grilling over charcoal, but something about tending your flame and using hardwood, it really brings an interesting aspect to cooking. Now I'm gonna pull, like, garlic is good. Charred jalapenos, looking nice. And then really, we wanna make sure that everything's pretty much cooked before we go on with the skirt. The skirt's pretty thin. It'll char quickly, it'll cook through quickly. The corn's in a husk, it'll stay warm. The pico can kind of come to room temperature. So you really want to have time to focus on just the beef when it comes down to it. I'm gonna lower this a little bit because I want a little more char on these two veggies here. And then when I go on with that skirt steak, I want the fire hot because it'll cook quickly. I want to get that nice char. Onions and beef are a natural pairing, but Vidalia onions really bring a sweetness that goes especially well when you're talking about something cooking over an open flame like this. They get a little more caramelized and a really deep flavor. And then the corn is close. So I'm gonna start working on this pico and watch that corn, and as soon as the corn is off, then I'm gonna go on with the skirt steaks. Run this knife through it. All right, so we'll go into the bowl with the chopped garlic. Now I'm gonna hit these jalapenos. I might take a little bit of the seeds out, but not worry too much. All right, now we'll get these tomatoes going. See a little bit of that core, I'll try and take that out, but this is gonna be a little chunky, a little rustic. Now, we got the Vidalia onions we're gonna dice up. Get those in, cilantro, and our pico will be ready. So this is the base for our pico, but just to kind of tie the flavors together, I'm gonna throw in some of that Tex-Mex seasoning into the pico de gallo as well. Nice flavorful, fire roasted pico de gallo with Vidalia onion. Now I'm gonna pull that corn off real quick because I can see it's very charred on the husk, which is where we want it, but not all the way burnt through. It'll give you a little kiss of char on the corn kernels, but they won't be completely burnt. It'll have that fire roasted flavor. Our pico's done and our corn's ready to go. Let's get these beautiful certified Angus beef skirt steaks onto the fire. Now, skirt can vary in thickness, so consider this on when you're cooking the skirt. You want some of that thinner stuff just over high heat for less time than you want those thicker pieces. The wind's kicked up a bit and my flame isn't quite as direct as I would like, so I'm gonna drop it down a little bit because I really want to get that nice char. There we go. Now you can hear the sizzle. Hold on, listen. You hear that? And skirt steak is the cut when it comes to Tex-Mex cooking. One thing that's great with skirt steak when it comes to open fire cooking is that you get that nice char from the open flame, plus it's thinner, so it cooks fairly quickly. So you can really hit it over high heat and not have to worry about it cooking through as much as if you were doing like a 2-inch thick ribeye or something like that. It's just all about getting that good char and then letting it rest when it's done. plus you can slice it really thin and it makes a great taco. Inherently, you're gonna have some thinner parts, which are probably gonna be a little more done. With skirt, I like it more medium rare to medium than on the rare side. It just really has a great flavor and becomes a little more tender when you cook it that way. Now we'll let these steaks rest for just a little while, about 5 minutes or so, just to help them reabsorb those juices. I've got my corn tortillas that I'm gonna give a quick toast over the fire. We've let the steaks rest a little bit, help reabsorb the juices. Now we want to cut these against the grain. And as you can see, the grain runs this direction. But it's kind of tough to try and cut in long slices. So I'll cut it into smaller, manageable pieces before I start slicing against the grain. Now it's time to set up our table and start serving some tacos. If you're looking to make an awesome Tex-Mex meal, all cooked over an open flame, pick up some certified Angus beef skirt steak at your local grocery store.